So today we're going to be covering the player's journey, the step-by-step process that we use on the football performance program to help players reach their athletic potential. So this is going to show you what it's like for you once you come on at the very start of the program and how you're going to develop step-by-step through each different phase for you to enable you to reach your peak level of performance on the pitch. So here's a quick diagram of what it will look like. So we have 4 stages on the football performance program that you will inevitably go through. Now, for somebody, it may look different. You may be starting at a different stage, but for the majority of people, what is going to happen is we are going to start off in stage 1, which is the body reconstruct phase. Okay. Then we move into stage 2, athletic development. Stage 3 is building the pro player. And then stage 4 is leaving your legacy. So there will always be that transition at some point. You're not going to stay in the one stage forever. You're going to have to move up and onward to ensure that you are reaching your athletic potential on the pitch. So stage number 1 is the body reconstruct. So what this essentially means is stage 1 is where we work with you to help you get in the best shape possible. Improving your body composition will have a massive direct impact on your performance, speed, and confidence. What I like to say is you wouldn't put a Ferrari engine in a Fiat 500 car because that's just going to lead to problems. The car is going to break down and it's not going to perform optimally for long. So it's important that we nail the foundation first, get you into that athletic shape first, cut down body fat percentage, gain some muscle mass before we really start driving up the performance metrics, because doing this alone is going to have the biggest bang for your buck whenever it comes to improving your performance. So if you are carrying a little bit of excess body fat and you're not in the best shape, this is where we need to start, and this is where we need to gut everything out and build that good foundation. So a good way to think about it, what I've done for every slide, just to make it a wee bit more understandable, is first off, we need to build a sports car. As we were saying there, you don't want to be putting a Ferrari engine in a Fiat 500 car. So this is us now, out of shape, not in the best shape possible. And what we want to do is we want to build the body that's going to help carry us through to the next stage, which will be athletic development. Okay, so moving on to stage 2 is the athletic development stage. So once we've got you in that prime physical shape, what we are going to do is we're going to start really nailing down the performance metrics. So now that we've built that solid base of muscle and low body fat, we can focus more on that athletic development. So now we focus really deeply on enhancing your speed times, enhancing your strength metrics and your power metrics in the gym. Okay, because now that we've got you in that prime physical shape, we can really start to push this a lot further than what we would have before if we didn't get you in the prime shape first. So first off, we get you into shape, we get you into great shape, and then we start to really push the performance metrics up. And this is how we are going to build the best athletic base for you to push on from. Okay, so here's another way of thinking about it. So we have the Formula One scenario again. So now that we've built the car, we're going to fine tune the engine. We don't want to do this in reverse. We don't want to fine tune the engine on a shitty car and then it just ending up going out and getting broke. Because if you're going in, for example, going on the pitch, doing all your sprint work, plows, all this really intense stuff at the start, when your body isn't prepared for it, what's going to happen is it's going to break down. And just like the example where you put the highly tuned engine into the crappy car, like that is only a recipe for disaster. Like things are going to break down. It's not going to perform optimally. So it's important that we do this in this order. So don't get me wrong, some of these stages can take time. It's just dependent on the person. For example, stage 1 might take someone longer to get in the best shape. Some person may only need 4 weeks to cut down. Some person even may take up to 12 weeks to 16 weeks. Okay, it's just depending on the person. You can still make plenty of progress regardless. Okay, and then this one, you can fine tune your engine forever. Do you know what I mean? You can reach your athletic, you can keep pushing those athletic metrics for as long as you're playing your sport. But once that starts to plateau and you're really pushing it and you just want to gain those extra percentages, this is where we move into stage 3. And stage 3 is building the pro player. Okay. This is where we start to look at your everyday habits and your lifestyle outside of the gym. Building the professional mindset and habits that will support you at being the best version of yourself. Okay. So this is where we start to look at things outside of the gym, like family life, relationship, your sleep, all the different small percentages that will lead into you being a better player. Because if everything's going well in the gym, your nutrition, everything's nailed down there, but there's some things holding you back outside the gym. Maybe it's your sleep schedule, maybe it's partying at the weekends. All of these things can lead into not being the best player possible, and it's not really living intuitively with being that pro player. So we start to like make that transition now from being a part-time athlete to a full-time athlete and having that mentality. And this is the difference between the guys that actually get the pro contracts, get the big signings. This is the difference. They adapt that pro mindset and they push on from there. So a good way to think about it as well with the Formula One example again is building professional habits and an attitude. So this is like our pit stops, okay? Because we have this car going at its best ability in terms of its athletic potential. It's the fastest, it's the fittest, it's the strongest it's ever been. But what we need to do now is continuously do these pit stops in order to keep that car pushing at that level. Or what's going to happen is if we don't manage these things outside the gym, etc., car's going to break down and it could be very detrimental to that car's career. Okay, so moving on to the final stage, which is the biggest one. Okay, it's leaving the legacy. Now, this is probably way in the future, okay, when you start to look at finally hanging the boots up. But it's good to have an idea of like what kind of player and person that you want to be now so that you can start moving in that direction and start actually filling the boots of that player now. Because if you leave it too late, you might not get to leave your legacy and be the player that you wanted to be. So you need to ask yourself, how do you want to be remembered whenever you finish your playing career? Like, what impact did you want to have? This doesn't mean that you have to go out and win like a major championship. It doesn't mean that you have to get a pro contract. It means that you basically went out and did everything that you could to be the person and the player that you wanted to be at the time. This could be, for example, winning your local league. It could be winning an individual award at your club and leaving a legacy down at the clubhouse that you're at, or just seeing how far you can actually go with this. Like, I'm not saying everybody's going to get pro in this program. Like, that is beyond like what's capable for some people. Okay. But I don't want you to limit yourself at that. I want you to think like, what is able for me to achieve if I really get my head down over the next few months, couple of years, really focus on my strength and conditioning, my team training, my skill, what is capable for me, and then walking into that character and leaving your legacy by the time you finish your career, because that day will inevitably come and it will come quickly. And we want to be able to look back on our time playing football and say, I gave it my best, I gave it my all, and I want to be a respected person on the pitch whenever I leave. So it's important that you kind of think of where you want to be and start moving towards that kind of player. Okay. So as you can see, you've got Lewis Hamilton there. He's left his legacy in the Formula One because he was just simply the best for years on end, winning multiple, I don't know term for Formula One championships, with obviously the Formula One. So that's it for this video, guys. I hope that this explained the journey very well, and I hope it made things really easy to understand. And I want you to ask yourself, on what part of the journey are you currently at yourself, and what do you need to start moving into the next stage? Okay, because that should be the goal. You should always be aiming to push up the pyramid, push on to the next stage, and just ask yourself, what is it that you need to do in order to achieve that next stage? Hopefully this was helpful, guys. All the best. I'll see you soon.